Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bamboo Brief. You know, every now and then a story comes along in the market that just makes you go, whoa. And this week, we've definitely got a big one. We're talking about a stock that, let's be honest, many had completely written off, only to see it come roaring back to life in the most spectacular way. That's right, we're breaking down the incredible, insane surge of Beyond Meat. Okay, just look at this number. In one single day, Beyond Meat's stock just exploded. We're talking 146%. No, that is not a typo. That was the company's best day on the market ever. Just a jaw-dropping performance that left everyone asking one simple question. What on earth just happened? To really get why this is so nuts, we got to look at where the company was right before this all went down. Because before this explosion, Beyond Meat was the definition of a fallen angel. It went from a Wall Street darling to a stock that so many investors had just completely given up on. Let's take a look at that journey. It's kind of hard to even remember now, but back in 2019, right after its IPO, this company was just on fire. The stock shot past $230 a share. It was seen as the future of food, and investors, well, they couldn't get enough. But yeah, that momentum did not last. And man, the decline was just brutal. After that 2019 high, the pressure just kept building and building. By 2021, the stock was down over 47% for the year. It eventually became a penny stock, and then, just last week, it hit absolute rock bottom, 65 cents a share. Think about that for a second. From over $230 all the way down to 65 cents. So what on earth changed? Well, something big happened. A tiny spark ignited this absolute firestorm of buying, and it has everything to do with the wild, wild world of meme stocks. Let's break down exactly what lit that fuse. Okay, so catalyst number one was this. Roundhill Investments added Beyond Meat to its meme stock ETF. The ticker symbol is literally MEME. Now, you got to understand, being added to a fund like this is like putting up a giant flashing neon sign for all the retail traders out there that says, hey, look over here. And that attention was absolutely crucial because of what was going on behind the scenes. And this is where it gets really, really juicy. Over 63%, more than 63% of the company's tradable shares were sold short. What that means is a huge number of investors were actively betting that the stock price would go down. A number this high, it's like setting up a financial powder keg, just waiting for a match. It created the perfect conditions for something we call a short squeeze. So what in the world is a short squeeze? Well, think of it like this. It's when a stock that a ton of people are betting against suddenly starts to rise. All the short sellers, the ones who wanted the price to fall, they start losing money fast. So to stop the bleeding, they're forced to buy the stock back. And ironically, their buying creates even more demand, which just pushes the price even higher. It's this crazy feedback loop for them, but for the stock price, it's like strapping it to a rocket. And for Beyond Meat, man, this was like a textbook case. First, you've got that insanely high short interest we just talked about. Then, boom, you get the trigger, the ETF edition, which causes that first little price jump. And that's all it takes to spook the short sellers. They start scrambling to buy shares to cover their bets, and you guessed it, that's what sends the stock absolutely parabolic. But wait, there's more. That wasn't even the only piece of good news. Right, so just as this short squeeze was starting to gain some serious steam, the company drops another huge announcement. And this just poured gasoline on an already roaring fire. And this was the perfect storm of good news at the perfect time. Beyond Meat announced a brand new deal to expand its distribution with Walmart. We're talking one of the biggest retailers on the planet. All of a sudden, this wasn't just meme stock hype anymore. This was a real piece of fundamental business news that suggested a potential turnaround, giving investors even more reason to jump in. So you put all that together, the result was just explosive. The stock shot up from that low of 65 cents to a high of around $2 in just a few days. It really was the perfect storm, right? A meme stock trigger crashing into some real-world positive business news. So after a week like that, there's really only one question on everybody's mind. Can this keep going, or is this just a flash in the pan? Well, some analysts are taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. This quote from CNBC points out that this kind of frenzy could be a sign of a frothy market. And frothy is just a fancy way of saying that asset prices might be getting a little too high, and maybe investors are getting a bit carried away, piling into risky stuff without looking too hard at the actual business fundamentals. Which brings us right back to the million-dollar question. Is this the start of a real, genuine turnaround for Beyond Meat, powered by new deals and a whole new wave of investor interest? Or is it just temporary froth, a classic meme stock rally that's just destined to fizzle out? Watching a story like this unfold can be super exciting, right? And it totally makes sense if it sparks an interest in wanting to get involved in the markets yourself. So if you're feeling that spark and you're maybe thinking about starting your own investing journey, we've got a great way for you to do just that. With the Bamboo app, you can easily invest in your favorite stocks. Yeah, even companies like Beyond Meat. It's a really easy-to-use platform that just makes it simple to start building your portfolio today. And hey, if you use the referral code down in the description, you'll also be supporting our channel, which honestly means the world to us. Okay, but now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Beyond Meat? Is this a comeback story for the ages, or is it just a temporary pump? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really curious to see what you all think. And of course, if you enjoyed this breakdown and got some value out of it, do us a huge favor and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and definitely ring that little notification bell so you never miss what we're cooking up next. All right, that's all we've got for today's deep dive. Thanks so much for watching the Bamboo Brief.